Right, so now I'm going back again from Gloucester to Hemel Hempstead, and once again, just like on the way there, I turned it on just after Brize Norton, and in order not to duplicate, I saved it until Brize Norton to start turning it on the way back. Not that these roads are as picturesque as the ones I got on the way over there, but what I just missed because I was actually having a telephone call. This huge, great big military plane, bigger than you see at passenger airports, and it was just almost hovering in the air like a kestrel. Saw a lovely kestrel, by the way, just out of the window where I went, just really keeping its space in the air, not moving forward or backwards. And this huge plane, big enough to be transporting tanks, huge, great thing, was just almost hanging in the air like a kestrel as well. How it did that, I do not know. I expect it's something to do with engines and stuff, which I don't really know about. But quite a sight. But I wasn't able to, whether I should have even filmed it if I had been able to film it, I don't know. You never know. You never know what. I assume that YouTube films can't really help the adversary much. And I'm not even sure what the adversary is really, because certainly the main adversary in terms of terrorism, what could they do against a plane like that? You can't, a bomb hidden up your jacksie is not going to do you much good against something like that. But it was quite really spectacular to see it, I have to say. And it makes you proud, why it should, I don't know, maybe it should make you feel embarrassed. I used to have things like that, but at least in Britain we've still got some decent hardware. It would feel a bit bad, wouldn't it, if you just thought to yourself, well, we just got nothing, we're just waiting to be attacked by somebody. Anybody that feels like trotting in, they can, because we don't have any up-to-date military hardware. I'm not a big one for spending taxpayers' money on an oversized army or navy or air force, but certainly we should have something, and we certainly do seem to have some. What was just hanging in the air on the right-hand side of the road a few moments back on the road, that shows we certainly got something, if it's. And obviously we train pilots at Brize Norton. RAF Brize Norton's a big training centre for military pilots, so you can easily get buzzed on the road here. You can expect to have planes come over nice and low, apparently. That's what I hear. When you're driving along this road, you can sometimes have a plane kind of appear almost from nowhere and go whoosh over your head, and of course it's not really lower than several hundred meters above your head. It's probably half a kilometer above your head, but it feels like it's just skimming the roof, obviously, when something like that goes over. So yeah, interesting stuff. Rural, I presume, Oxfordshire, and still obviously autumn. It's not going to change season between a morning and an afternoon. Please merge in turn. That's an interesting saying. Some people seem to think that when the road has got the requirement to merge before roadworks or something, that the idea, and this is very, very common in Poland, that you should then merge as far back away from it as you can, so you don't look as though you were like trying to push in and get in at the last minute. But the idea is, if you take that to its logical conclusion, then even merging to one lane that might last for like just 100 meters or so, then affects another several kilometers behind it, because everybody feels as though they should have merged right the way back. Whereas the correct way to do mergers is what they call the Reißverschluss. I'm sure I've spoken about this, but probably some time ago. In Germany they call it the Reißverschluss. It means left, right, like on your zipper. One metal bit goes from the left, the other from the right, and they link together as the zip goes up, and therefore it all should happen at the last minute. You've got two lanes travelling at an even speed towards the place where the narrowing happens, and you're expected, every car's expected to let one in, no more than one, just the one, so you've got left, right, left, right, left, right, just like a zip doing up. That is, of course, the most effective way of handling road traffic when you've got a narrowing on the road from 2 lanes to 1. However, this isn't taking account of the territoriality of people who tend to think this way. This is my lane. What are you doing forcing your way into I'm not going. I've been behind that car there, V6. It's nothing to do with him. I wouldn't necessarily say his thing could be any car. I've been behind that red Polo for the last, or Golf, pardon me, the last red Golf for the last 10 miles. What do you think you're doing? Pushing in. And not realising that they're supposed to actually be letting the person in, encouraging, wholeheartedly welcoming the person from the other lane into their lane at the point where there's about to be a narrowing, before the narrowing happens. And just before the narrowing happens, you need to let in one person. Instead of which, they turn it to, oh, well, you know, while the traffic, as soon as the traffic knows that there's going to be a narrowing, you're supposed to all get into that lane which is affected, so that you become rightful owners of the lane and pretend you've been in it for the last 30 miles. And then you can get all self-righteous if anybody else comes in front of you. So therefore, woe betide anybody that actually tries to behave properly and take it to the limit, because they're not going to be allowed in by a lot of people. People are going to go, of course, what happens is, if you actually go to the end, and then you say, well, you know, I came to the end, I let one car by, now it's my turn to go in, and the guy just bashed straight into me, yeah? Then the funny thing is, the guy that bashes into him keeping his own lane and doesn't let the other guy in is probably liable, but he doesn't realise it. So he's in for a big surprise, you know, when the other guy's claiming off his insurance and actually getting a successful claim, and his no claims bonus goes up. I mean, his no claims bonus disappears, rather, doesn't go up, it just disappears. So people need to think again. I mean, I think I've got a very intellectual audience in the main. Obviously, you get the odd one that gets, you know, sneaks in, but in the main, all my regulars are a jolly intellectual crowd, and I'm really proud of my viewership. Not in terms so much of size, although even the size of it's surprising given, you know, what I produce. You know.
In 100 meters,
Careful.
enter.